show, but apparently.
Environment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This episode sponsored by Plum Wine.
Awesome, Japanese.
Okay, so let's get going here. Make sure I have everybody. Felipe, thank you for coming.
My pleasure to be here, sir.
Felipe,
Every
you're
time-
talking to me.
Every time Felipe is here, we have all kinds of termites. I don't know how that happens. We're on. Good morning and welcome to the Joseph Apartments Talk Show. You saw our calendar here of who's here, and I want to welcome our guests. And before we get started, I just want to know that this episode is sponsored by the Kinson Plum Wine Company. Thank you very much for that sponsorship. Let's introduce our first guest. John Lewis is a sitting city councilman from the city of La Mirada. We're always active, John, in making sure that our apartment owners interact with the city council, make sure that we know what the rules are, the regulations, that we abide by them, and then we count on good help from the city council, but also an attorney at law. So tell us what you know about what's going on that we don't know.
Well, so many areas going on with, especially apartments, construction. First of all, my day-to-day job is a real estate attorney. We do unlawful detainers, we do contract disputes, we do some trusts and wills, we do some personal injury and a few other things as well. But recently, I think you guys know a lot about the moratoriums that have been going on with regards to the COVID issues, especially here in LA County. It's been really bad. LA County has put on some moratoriums on top of whatever the state had. You know, the Tenant Protection Act of 2019. It wasn't allowed to, if you're an apartment owner and you have somebody that declares COVID stress, financial stress, that they can't kick them out for any particular reason, especially now that they have these real estate funds that are paying off all these debts. So being an unlawful detainer attorney in LA County has really been challenging, to say the least. We have a lot of cases, we get a lot of specialized cases because they don't meet the requirements of all these COVID, financial distress letters and the Tenant Protection Act and things like that. Then you can actually kick them out. Now we've gone back to 3-day notices to pay or quit. You can get them out on, but you can't get them out for any other issue. If you just want to get them out for a 60-day notice or lease termination or something like that, you have to have like kind for like kind. So if you have a 60-year-old female, then you have to replace them with a 60-year-old female.
Are you kidding me?
That's the requirement in LA County because of the moratorium.
Wow.
Ask him
Yeah.
about LA City.
You asked
It gets
LA
worse.
LA
You asked-
It
you
gets
asked-
worse.
you asked-
It gets
you
worse.
asked.
LA City is almost impossible to kick anybody out.
It's incredible.
You wouldn't want to be an apartment owner in LA City because generally they won't allow any summons to issue. So you file an unlawful detainer for any particular issue, they just won't issue the summons if it doesn't fit the criteria of the LA City moratorium. Then we got the LA County moratorium, and then we have the state moratorium. So you got to kind of synthesize them all together and figure out what you can do. Most of the time, if you're in Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, you can pretty much kick them out for almost any reason except for a few. I think like even Orange County, you have to do like kind for like kind. You just can't say I'm putting my own 20-year-old daughter in there because she needs an apartment. Not going to work anymore. You have to have whoever you're kicking out has to be displaced by somebody you're putting in. Unfortunately, those are the rules at this point.
Typical rookie move of John hogging up the entire episode. Thanks a lot, John. John, how do we get a hold of you? And this sounds.
This is great. Another buzz of
Wow.
jobs.
This sounds increasingly confusing. You have conflicting laws that you have to sort through. How do the confused viewers get a hold of you?
You can call my office, 562-293-4073, or you can email me at john@lewislaw.info, and we can help you out on any of your apartment complex issues. So,
You're also a city councilman.
City Council.
My viewers are very active in supporting free enterprise, real estate ownership. How do we get a hold of you? When are you up for election?
June 7th, District 1, La Mirada. That's the
This year?
This year, yeah. We have to pull papers in February, so
You gonna run?
Absolutely.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. He's running for office
Yes.
again. He's running for re-election. June 1st, there's no primary. It's just a general election then.
Yeah, it'll be the primary is June 7th, and then that's our election. We decided to go in La Mirada with a primary rather than a general election. So,
Is there a website, election website?
my website's going to be john4lamirada.com. JOHN4FOR lamirada.com.
Let's get behind John. Sounds like a good guy. Big talker, but good guy. All right, Phil. Speaking of big talkers and good guys, what is new in the world of exchange? Now, most of what we worried about with Biden didn't happen because they
don't
got.
get to too many conclusions.
all
The
right,
Senate
all right.
has not voted on this.
Take it away. Let me pour you some plum wine.
Yeah,
while you're-
everybody's going to need more of that plum wine after you hear this.
But the most of what we worried about, because of the two Democrat senators, got blocked, right?
Yeah, Manchin has really done a great job to help us out. A Democrat, which I'm very happy that somebody from the other side is actually helping, which is great. Very concerned that the Senate hasn't voted. If you would go to 1031taxreform.com, it will generate 2 letters for you, actually probably 3. Your House of Representative person, but they've already voted on that. They're Senator Feinstein and Senator Padilla. When you send anything to Senator Padilla, he writes you back 3 paragraphs that say absolutely nothing. I mean, it's like, why did you waste the words? Because this doesn't say anything. He's just basically trying to inflate his own balloon, which I'm really disappointed with. At least take a position. Feinstein took a position. He's going to vote with the president. But at least he took a position. I don't know
What
he's
issue
saying.
are we talking about?
We're talking about the increase of capital gains. We're talking about deleting, getting rid of, or limiting the 1031 exchange. We're talking about the elimination of the stepped-up basis. Those are 3 major issues.
So they're still on the table, but we're not out of the way.
The House has already voted, but the Senate now, it's sitting in with them. So we have to wait and see what the Senate's going to do.
What's Manchin and Sinema's position on those issues? Do you know?
Well, Manchin is what we're thinking, in terms of what's good for the industry and what's going to produce jobs, what's going to produce revenue to the IRS, because people make money, then they go out and spend money, it stimulates the economy. It's a good thing.
Give me that website again.
1031taxreform.com. Now, the other thing, which I don't know that everybody knows, one thing the House did give to the administration is $80 billion to go to the IRS. They want to jack them up in terms of software, in terms of hiring. They want to collect revenue. Now, honestly, there's cheaters. That's no good. You're cheating the government. You're cheating all of us. But by the same token, they're going to come on like gangbusters once they get this money because they're looking for revenue.
Dean, time to run back to 821. but that didn't pass, right? That didn't pass yet.
Oh no, the House passed.
But the Senate didn't.
No, we're waiting for the Senate. I don't think the Senate will argue with that. It's a 2-legged monster or 3-legged monster.
So you think it'll pass the Senate?
I don't
The
know.
IRS bill.
I don't know.
When is it up for vote?
Oh, the IRS? No, it's part of the package.
Part of the Build Back Better
Yeah,
package.
yeah,
That
Build
didn't
Back
pass.
Better.
That didn't pass.
That
That
did
hasn't
pass.
passed.
And it did pass that they're going to give them the $80 billion from the House. Now the Senate
Right.
is sitting on it. So it's just time will tell. Biggest question I get is when. The answer is that thing was sent back in April, 28th? They didn't pass anything till November? Who knows how long the Senate's going to sit on it.
How do we get hold of you, Phil?
213-479-8800, 213-479-8800. What do I do? That's a good question. We facilitate 1031 exchanges nationally. So if any of you, somebody's been sipping on the wine too much, this is a good show. Anyway, the bottom line is, anyone who, you've got a question, I'm really delighted to answer it. No, there's no obligation. I'll get your 1031 exchange questions answered and get you in the right directions, like Mr. Joseph.
Nobody does a better job than Phil. Speaking of doing a better job, Dean, what is new in the world of credit correcting and credit in general and finance? You're our go-to guru on all this stuff.
Yes, well, good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. My name's Dean Tapia, and I'm Vice President of Pacific West Credit. We're a licensed credit repair company. As you know, we've been all going through a lot the last few years. And guess what? Super sensitive credit reports. Buying a car, you can't buy a car. You want to buy a used car, you have your credit report 40 times by, your broker. So the bottom line is everybody has a New Year's resolution. I wore my Fitbit, and so far I'm at 4,100 steps. I want to go to 10,000, but also increase your score. So lower some weight and increase your score. Credit worthiness is paramount. He was talking about evictions and so forth, the like for like. Tenant landlord owners are very reluctant to rent to somebody that has a low credit score. If you're trying to do a purchase, if somebody wants to move out, move in, 620 is a score. So if you don't have a 620 mid score, you're stuck with an FHA. Why stick yourself with an FHA if money's cheap? Also, something new. The government is thinking about taking over the credit reporting business.
Really?
And that we'll save that one for next month. And if that happens, I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. But if you have any questions, the consultation's always free. My name's Dean. Cell number 714-323-5538. Thank you.
Between Dean and Phil, if you don't leave this show terrified, they haven't been doing their job. Felipe, what's going on? What's new with termites? What are termites doing that's new right now?
To begin with, let me tell you that I'm so happy, so thrilled to be here among wonderful people. Thank you for inviting me over. Let me tell you that I'm Felipe Ross, owner and operator of Rosswood Termite Control. We're a family-owned business working so hard in Southern California in order to prevent this from happening in your property. I always bring with me samples of our termite damaged wood, so I can show the people exactly the destructive power of termites in dry rot, in surface fungus. Let me show you. This is a rotten piece of wood. Used to be a 2x4, and this used to be a 2x6.
Wow.
And
It's a half by a half.
that's what my walls look like. And this is funny, but I always bring with me a few signs of termite droppings. This is the signs that we're looking for in the properties, trying to lead us to the infestation.
Interesting.
So anytime that we have the chance to come up to your property, we'll be looking for signs like this, termite damage, so we could determine whether the house needs local treatment or fumigation. I'm extending my services over to you. $90 inspection fee, deductible from the total estimate. Let's say that you give us the opportunity to work for you. We'll be more than happy to deduct the $90 from the total estimate at the end of the job. My phone number is 951-251-27633, and I have a 562 number, 991-9952. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Felipe. Next we have Jack from Sunwest Mortgage. Jack, what is
Couple
new?
seconds left.
Yes, take your time.
Great. Jack Walsh with Sunwest Mortgage. I'm a mortgage loan originator, and I'm working with the Coldwell Banker Ambassador Office for several months now. Having a great time, great people. Interest rates are going crazy right now. Really hot economy last year. The Fed's looking at controlling inflation, which is going to be really difficult to do. They've already forecasted. Yesterday they announced probably an increase of 1.5 in interest rates over the course of the next 11 months.
Did you say 1.5%?
Yeah, it's probably by the end of the year, we're probably looking at, so a 30-year mortgage right now is at 3.75, 3.76, something like that.
Which is an incredible rate.
Which is, when you look at the a chart from 30 years, it's the lowest they've been in years, right? It's great numbers, great numbers. So if you're an investor or you're looking for your first home or looking for another home, rates are still great. Just know that credit is critical and cash on hand is critical. And if you've got some timeline, a runway to purchase, let's look at your file and see what we need to tighten up to make sure you get the best rates possible. So I'm happy to help in any way.
Now, 1.5%, is that the Fed rate, or do you think that's where mortgage rates will go?
I think the Fed rate's going to go up.
Where do you think mortgage rates will go?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
In comparison to
That's
that
a $1
figure?
million
Yeah,
question.
that is the $1 million question.
That's $1 million.
So
Why
much-
I asked them. It's why I asked them.
Yeah. I think the underlying scenario with interest rates is
It's going to go up, I'm sure.
it's a hot market. Everything from real estate to consumable goods, everything's going up a little bit. So I think they're going to try to control that with monetary policy, a Fed rate, and then the mortgage rates are going to dictate or are going to move based on what the market's doing. So
You sound like a politician. That's John's job.
yeah,
What are they right now, right roughly, ballpark?
3.76.
And what do you think they'll be in a year? Just
I'd say another point.
a point. Wow, that's interesting.
Which
is
is not a
still
bad
low.
rate either.
Which
You
is
heard it
still
here
low.
first. It's going to take a ton of buyers out of the market.
Well, that's the problem.
But when I got my
Especially-
license, rates were 17%. But anyway, how do we get a hold
Mine
of
was
you?
18 and a half.
310-465-3832 is my cell number. 310-465-3832. Jack.Walsh at swmc.com.
So if my viewers have a kid or a kid-in-law, you can pre-qualify them,
Pre-qualify
get a letter of pre-qualification
Give
to
them a letter,
accompany
they
the
can walk
offer
into
that
an
comes
offer.
in.
Yep, they can walk in with a letter from me to an offer, and it's good as gold.
Email address.
Jack.Walsh at swmc.com.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We have an awesome group of people today giving us valuable ideas and answers. And just to remind you, we are now on 19 different social media posts. This video goes out to 19 different places. Also, we are going to be syndicated through a guy named Eric Frazier. It's going to go out to millions of people, maybe next month, the month after. And then lastly, we emailed this video out to 48,000 apartment owners. Lisa's going to get on that lickety split as soon as we're done. Thank you for watching. Having a great month.
Thank you. Thank you.